Let's take a look at our Star Wars highlights from the Retro Event Volume 5, March 29th, 2025. Villa Varykino. If it's Star Wars, we collect it. Hello there. Thanks for visiting Villa Varykino. I'm Kristy.
And I'm Matt. Yesterday we attended the Retro Event Volume 5 held at the EventFinda Stadium in Auckland, New Zealand. This is the 5th time the Retro Event has been held at various venues around Auckland, each time bigger and better than the last. We attended Volume 4 back in November 2024 and had a great time.
This March event has been marked on our calendar for months. It was held in the same venue as the last event, which we loved. The Convention Centre is a great space for an event of this size, though of course we are a little bit biased as it's only a short drive from our house.
As we like to be thorough, it took us hours to search all the second-hand items for sale. A fun time for these Star Wars fans. It's hard to know for sure, but it felt like there was more Star Wars stuff this time. There was definitely more vendors at this event, which was just fantastic to see, and really speaks to the growing popularity of this event.
The Retro Event is like a giant collectible garage sale, where collectors can buy from fellow collectors from a massive array of pop culture and fandoms. Of course we were there hunting for Star Wars, but it's a fun nostalgia trip to see so many toys and merchandise from all sorts of franchises that we remember from our childhoods.
In terms of Star Wars items and collectibles, there was an absolutely fantastic amount. We spotted Black Series 6-inch figures, and even a few from the short-lived Black Series 4-inch line. Lots and lots of classic Star Wars 3.75-inch figures, from Vintage Kenner through Power of the Force 2, the Phantom Menace, Saga era, all the way to the modern vintage collection.
We even spotted quite a few figure multi-packs, which tend to be harder to find here in New Zealand. We spent quite a while carefully sorting through all of the figures and enjoying the trip down memory lane with all of the different era card backs.
Over the years, we have opened up our Star Wars action figures to add to our loose figure displays. Now that several decades have passed and Hasbro has moved through so many different backing card and packaging styles, we have found ourselves becoming very nostalgic for the older and short-lived backing card eras. A particular goal of ours is to now go hunt down a nice carded example of a favourite character from each packaging era, so it's really fun to go through the older figures at an event like this where we can see the condition of the cards in person.
There were also loose vehicles, boxed vehicles and vintage vehicles, Funko Pop vinyl figures, Lego Star Wars sets and minifigures, novels and books, Hot Wheels, micro machines, t-shirts, plush toys, Hasbro 12-inch figures, titanium vehicles, galactic heroes, gentle giant figures and statues, video game consoles and games, DVDs and VHS, music CDs and records, board games, inflatable children's chairs, vintage backpacks, 3D printed droid heads, popcorn buckets, trading cards, and oh so much more.
To add to the positive atmosphere of the event, there were costumers from the local Rebel Legion and 501st Legion in attendance, raising money for charity. R2-D2 visited the event as well. Some awesome pop culture vehicles were also on display, including iconic cars from Back to the Future and Knight Rider.
We love picking up fun second-hand Star Wars finds for our collection, from good deals on loose figures to rarer finds. Of course, the modern era of online auction sites has really helped the collecting community buy and sell, but it's always great when you can avoid paying postage and risking any damage in the mail. I'm sure we've all unfortunately experienced that. And I find it's always helpful to see items in person before buying, especially when dealing with second-hand items like carded figures.
Learning from our experience at the past event, we made sure to arrive much earlier this time to avoid the long line to get in. We were much closer to the door this time, and before we knew it, we got our wristbands and were inside the convention centre ready to shop.
We typically like to do a quick walk around of all of the dealer tables first to get a good sense of the range of items for sale. But of course, sometimes you spot a great find that you just have to buy immediately. Once we completed our first circuit, we really took our time with a thorough search through everything. We spent hours carefully searching through all of the dealer tables. Hunting for Star Wars collectibles is one of our favourite ways to spend our weekends together, so we're quite familiar with the current range available at our local stores. This event was an exciting change of scenery where we had no idea what we would find.
Of course, as collectors, we always have our Star Wars collectible wish lists stored at the ready on our phones, but at events like these, it's the random finds that can often be the most exciting. In fact, we didn't buy a single Black Series or Vintage Collection figure this time.
The venue was fantastic, with the tables and booths well laid out to cope with the crowds. Attendees could grab a snack or full lunch at the convention center food vendors and eat outside in the sunshine before heading back inside to resume the hunt. Similar to the last event, we spent a little over 4 hours going through all of the dealer tables and booths before we felt like we'd searched through everything and had picked up our favorite finds. We weren't sure how much we would actually end up buying at the event, as there was so much to browse, so it was hard to narrow down our choices. And I do have a tendency to want to rescue poor old random Star Wars things, but in the end we're really happy with what we came home with.
One of our first purchases, and my favourite find of the day, a pair of vintage Empire Strikes Back college bags, one Galactic Empire, one Rebel Alliance. These bags were a complete out-of-the-blue surprise to find. They were made by an Australian company and available in New Zealand in 1981. I personally had the Rebel bag as my school bag the year after The Empire Strikes Back came out, but I have not found a single example available online after many years of searching. I don't have my original school bag, it was lost to time and wear back in the 80s, so I've searched ever since to find another one. My original bag had a yellow flap and sides, while this one is blue, but it was just the most incredibly rare and personally significant thrifting find. A true example of how events like this one really brings buyers and sellers together to treasure retro and nostalgic items.
For me, I think my personal favourite find was a carded Hasbro Unleashed Padme Amidala figure. The Unleashed line launched as I was really getting into the Star Wars collecting hobby in the prequel era, and I hunted every local store I could get to find as many from the range as I could. I still have my original Unleashed Padme figure, but I opened it up for display back then, and I recently have really wanted to add a carded version to my Padme collection. This one isn't in mint condition, but it's pretty good for being over 20 years old now, and it was a fantastic price. I grabbed this one the moment I spotted it.
2 new fun LEGO Star Wars sets to add to our collection. LEGO Star Wars Brickheads 75317, The Mandalorian and the Child, and LEGO Star Wars 75226 Inferno Squad Battle Pack. We're really keen to fill the gaps in our collection of LEGO Star Wars Brickheads, and as fans of Star Wars Battlefront, we were so excited to find this Inferno Squad set with 4 minifigures.
I love collecting the cute side of Star Wars, so when I spotted this adorable Disney Star Wars Ooshies Princess Leia hologram figure from Woolworths Australia, of course I had to get it to add to my Leia collection. As the name Ooshies suggests, the figure is squishy. It's so cute.
Sadly, the Micro Galaxy Squadron line is no longer stocked here in New Zealand, so we're always on the hunt for vehicles from the line that we never found. A fellow collector was selling off their MGS Series 7 mystery box duplicates, so we were able to get Kalnaka, Sabine Wren, and Captain Rex, each with their respective speeder bikes and all cheaper than the original retail.
This one was a bit of a random impulse buy. The Star Wars Return of the Jedi from a certain point of view hardcover novel, the Del Rey UK printing, with 40 stories celebrating 40 years of Return of the Jedi. In the older Expanded Universe era, we both collected all the Star Wars novels we could find, including different cover versions. We haven't really kept up with all of the new era books as much as we would like, as we do tend to focus more on collecting figures these days, but this book was such a great price for a hardcover, we just had to grab it, and we can't wait to read through all 40 short stories.
We had a great time at yesterday's retro event, a fun fandom day out for our Star Wars family. We can't wait to hear when and where Volume 6 will be held, so we can add it to our calendar and begin the countdown.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us as we recapped our Star Wars adventures at the Retro Event Volume 5, March 2025. We hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon or evening, wherever you are in the galaxy, and let's hang out again very soon for more Star Wars fun. May the Force be with you. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a like, check out our other videos, and subscribe for alerts about new uploads. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.